Heartwarming moment, single mom rejected at interview discovers life-changing support from a CEO. Mia sat in a cafe, her heart heavy but hopeful. She had just been rejected for a job that could turn her life around. A single mom of two, she felt the pressure mounting like an avalanche. Her children looked up to her, and she wanted to be a beacon of hope for them. The hustle of waiting tables at the diner and cleaning offices at night was draining, but she filled her heart with purpose, volunteering at the community center, teaching kids to read, igniting their dreams while stoking her own. That morning, the rejection email blinked on her screen, seeming to mock her after all her hard work. Her breathing quickened. It was supposed to be a slice of stability for her family. The weight of it all threatened to suffocate her. It's unfair, she thought, recalling the many nights she memorized every page of a chapter book just to inspire the kids she loved. She had poured herself into every moment, every shattered dream deserved to be recognized. As she sipped her coffee, contemplating her future, the bell over the cafe door jingled. In walked Henry, the CEO of the firm who had just snubbed her. At first, he strolled in obliviously, his confident strides echoing his privilege. But as Mia caught his eye and turned her gaze away, a familiar warmth from their community space surrounded her. She couldn't help but feel an odd mixture of anger and disappointment. Then, unexpectedly, their paths collided. Henry approached her table, a mix of curiosity and surprise on his face. "Mia, right?" he asked. She looked up, heart racing as she realized he remembered her from the community center. How could a high-powered CEO know her? As conversation flowed, Mia laid bare her struggles, her sleepless nights juggling multiple jobs, the ache of longing for a better life for her kids, the fear that all her efforts might be in vain. Each word fell from her lips like a broken promise. Henry listened, rapt and slowly changed. A flicker of recognition crossed his face, connecting her with the humanity he had overlooked. That it clicked for him. This was not just another application but a woman cracking under the endless pressure of inequality. What had seemed like a mere rejection was now painted with stark colors of real consequence. Mia's story blossomed in that cafe, vibrant against the dull backdrop of their realities. She was fierce, a warrior for her children's dreams. She was their hope. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Henry blinked, considering the weight of her words. The earnestness in her voice brought a shift within him. It felt wrong to walk away now without doing something. He offered to meet her again, a possible lifeline but shrouded in uncertainty, a tiny ember igniting a storm of fears within Mia. As Mia left the cafe, hope surged but doubt lingered. Could a moment of compassion turn into something tangible? Or would this be just another fleeting hour in a life marked by struggle? She pondered where the line between desperation and opportunity lay, heart racing with possibilities. Could one unexpected ally truly change everything? Mia tossed her keys onto the kitchen counter, the sound echoing through the quiet space of her home. She had finally returned from the cafe, but instead of relief, her heart was a whirlwind of thoughts. Henry's offer to meet again lingered in the corners of her mind, battling the doubts that nagged at her. Could he truly help her? Or was this just another false hope? The walls felt like they were closing in. She caught a glimpse of her reflection in the window and realized how tired she looked. Her hair was a tousled mess, and dark circles framed her eyes. But there was something else in her gaze. A spark, perhaps, ignited by the talk they had shared over coffee. "Mama!" her son Lucas called, breaking her reverie. He rushed into the room, his curious face lit up with excitement. The innocence in his eyes reminded her of the dreams she held for him and his sister, Sadie. "Hey buddy," she replied, forcing a smile as he threw his arms around her waist. What's up? Can we paint today? Lucas asked, tugging at her sleeve with that familiar eagerness. Mia considered it. Painting meant creativity, laughter, and some escape from the realities of their lives. Of course. Let me get the supplies. As they worked together on their small dining table, splashes of color filled the canvas, representing the dreams Mia longed for. Each brushstroke was a whisper of hope. Sadie joined in, giggling as she mixed colors in a clumsy yet joyful manner. Look, Mommy! It's a rainbow unicorn! Sadie exclaimed, showing off her creation with pride. Mia glanced at the vibrant mess before her, a smile breaking across her face. In this moment, surrounded by laughter and paint, she felt the weight of the world slip away. But as their giggles filled the room, the harsh reality snapped back into focus. She still had bills to pay and a future to secure. Later that night, tucked under the blankets with her kids asleep, Mia picked up her phone. The email from Henry still sat unread in her inbox, a lingering question hanging in the air: what did he truly want from her? As her fingers hovered over the screen, she hesitated. What if he only wanted to help as an afterthought, not genuinely invested in her struggle? Amidst those swirling thoughts, another message pinged through, a reminder for an upcoming job fair at the community center. It was an opportunity, a flicker of light in her darkness. With a deep breath, she realized it was her chance to take control, to gather her courage and strive for something more. But then there was Henry's offer. What if she could combine both paths? What if she could explore the possibility of a partnership with him? The idea both excited and terrified her. She wondered if he would even be around to help when she really needed it. As sleep began to lull her weary body, her thoughts raced. Should she reach out to Henry tomorrow? Or would that jeopardize everything she had fought for? The next morning, shuffling through her morning routine, Mia felt a swell of determination. She picked up her phone again, opening Henry's email and reading through it for the third time. It was more than an offer, it was a lifeline, a promise of support that she wasn't sure she could trust. With her heart pounding, she drafted a response. Just as she was about to hit send, an unexpected knock at the door startled her. Who could it be? Could this be another opportunity, or perhaps an unwelcome interruption? Taking a deep breath, she walked to the door, uncertainty swirling in her gut. What awaited her on the other side? Mia paused for a moment, her heart racing. The knock came again, more insistent this time. She glanced back at the living room, a hasty clutter of toys and art supplies, and gathered her courage to open the door. The moment she turned the knob, her breath caught in her throat. Standing there was Henry, a large coffee cup in one hand and a soft smile spread across his face. Surprise! I thought I'd drop by and see how you're doing. What are you doing here? She managed, startled but pleasantly surprised. I figured you could use some caffeine after a long night. He stepped in, the scent of fresh brew filling the air. I hope you don't mind. Mia shook her head, a mix of gratitude and confusion swirling within her. Part of her wanted to welcome him in, to share the chaotic world she navigated daily, while another part hesitated, unsure if this intrusion would help or hurt her already simmering doubts. Thanks, I appreciate it, she said finally, taking the cup he offered. It was warm and comforting in her hands. They moved to the living room, and Henry eyed the vibrant paintings scattered around. You really spent the afternoon creating a masterpiece here, didn't you? Mia chuckled, her cheeks warming. They are interpretations, I suppose. Artists in the making, he mused, leaning closer to a particularly chaotic canvas. I love it. Kids have the best imaginations. As they talked, Mia felt the tension in her shoulders ease. For the first time, she allowed herself to see Henry not just as a potential ally, but as a friend. Maybe he could really help her, she thought. But the scramble of thoughts still nagged, reminding her of her past disappointments. I came to check in on your thoughts about the partnership, he said, steering the conversation back to business. I know this is a big step. We can build something special together if you're open to it. The spark she felt when they first spoke rekindled, but mixed with fear. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I mean, it's just so much to take in. Hey, take your time, he said gently. I know this isn't easy. But you're stronger than you realize. Trust yourself. You've got this. His words sank in deeper than she expected. A bittersweet warmth spread through her heart as she looked into his encouraging gaze. This was the support she'd always dreamed of but had never thought she could find, but just as she was about to suggest a plan, Lucas sprinted down the hall, his hair still messy from sleep. Mom! Can we have pancakes? I'm starving. Absolutely. She said, her mood brightening at the sight of her energetic son. You want to join us for breakfast? She asked Henry, half hoping he would say yes, half wondering if introducing him into her family life was too much. Sure, I'd love to, Henry replied, stepping into the role of guest seamlessly. As they moved toward the kitchen, laughter echoed, mixing with sizzling sounds as Mia set the pan on the stove. While they waited for the pancakes to cook, she watched the playful banter between Henry and Lucas, heart swelling at this simple warmth, but as the syrup flowed and laughter filled the room, doubt crept back into her mind. Could she really mix both her personal life and this budding partnership? Would it all come crashing down? Before she could ponder any further, Henry looked directly at her, a serious look in his eyes. There's something I need to tell you, Mia. I think it's important for what we're trying to build together. What could he possibly say that would change everything? Her stomach dropped as the weight of the moment thickened the air around them. Was she ready for whatever reality he was about to reveal? Mia could feel the heat rising in her cheeks as she met Henry's gaze. What could he possibly say that would change everything? The air hung heavy, seemingly charged with electricity. She tightened her grip on the coffee cup, seeking comfort in its warmth. Is it about the partnership? She asked, trying to sound casual, but her voice quivered slightly. Henry hesitated, glancing toward Lucas who was busily applying syrup to his pancake. Partly, yes, but it's personal too, he replied, his voice low. I want to be transparent with you, especially if we plan to work together. I think it's important that you know I'm not just some random guy. Mia's heart raced. She knew she could be too guarded, too quick to shut others out, but the way he looked at her made her feel safe enough to listen. I had a really rough start in my career, he continued, taking a moment to find his words. I overcame a lot of challenges to get where I am. Just like you, I felt lost at times, unsure if I was making the right choices. But I learned something crucial along the way. That familiar knot in Mia's stomach loosened slightly as she leaned in, keeping her attention solely on him. She needed to hear this, to feel that connection. Henry pushed a hand through his hair, clearly searching for the right way to articulate his thoughts. You don't have to do this alone. You can lean on others. That's what partnerships are, for support in the tough moments. Mia blinked. Those words struck a chord. All her life, she had placed burdens on herself, convinced that needing help was a sign of weakness. Slowly, she realized how often she pushed people away, thinking it was for the best of everyone involved. Lucas, oblivious, continued chattering excitedly about a cartoon he saw, filling the room with innocent laughter. The sweetness of his laughter contrasted sharply with the seriousness unfolding between her and Henry. But still, Mia was enveloped in a soft warmth, drawn in by his honesty. What I want you to know, Mia, is that I see incredible potential in you, Henry added, his eyes never leaving hers. You have this amazing vision, and I genuinely believe we could create something great. His words wrapped around her like a comforting hug. Inside, a flicker of hope ignited. She thought of all the times she doubted herself, all the times she hesitated to accept help or friendship. Maybe Henry was right. Maybe this was the moment for her to take a leap of faith. Mia opened her mouth to respond, but the sound of Lucas's high-pitched voice cut through. Mom! Can we go to the park after breakfast? I want to play soccer. Mia chuckled, grateful for the lightness in the air. Absolutely, buddy. We'll play as long as we can. Then, Turning her eyes back to Henry, she felt a sudden rush of courage. I want to take that step with you, Henry. I'm willing to listen. And maybe we can find a way to make this work. His face lit up, a smile unfurling that seemed to ease all the tension that had built prior. That's all I needed to hear. Let's take it one step at a time. But just as they seemed to find common ground, the phone buzzed loudly on the kitchen counter, jolting them back to reality. Mia glanced at it, her breath hitching again. The name on the screen was all too familiar, her old boss. Maybe I should get this, she mumbled, anxiety bubbling up as she reached for her phone. Was it about her past? Would it bring everything crashing down, just when she felt ready to start anew? Henry's expression shifted, concern flickering in his eyes. Mia. She was at a crossroads, the weight of the past colliding with her hopes for the future. Would she face this call, or write her own new story? Mia's hand hovered over her phone. The buzzing seemed to reverberate through her entire body, each pulse a reminder of the life she was trying to escape. Part of her wanted to ignore the call, to wipe the slate clean right here, right now. But the other part, the part that still felt tethered to her past, urged her to pick up. She took a deep breath, steadying herself. I guess I need to know what they want, she said, trying to sound nonchalant, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her. Just take your time, Henry encouraged softly. His eyes held something she hadn't recognized before, a warmth that felt both protective and inviting. Mia nodded, but her heart raced as she swiped to answer. Hello. The voice on the other end was familiar, yet felt like a ghost haunting her present. Mia, it's Greg, her former boss said, a hint of formality in his tone. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to discuss a recent opportunity that just opened up. Mia's chest tightened. Every fiber of her being screamed to hang up. This was a moment she had to seize with Henry, yet here she was tangled in a conversation that could pull her back into uncertainty. Oh. What opportunity? She managed to ask. It's a position back at the firm. We think you'd be the right fit, and your past contributions are still fresh in everyone's minds, Greg explained, his voice professional but rife with a manipulation she was too familiar with. Mia's heart pounded as she glanced at Henry, who was watching her intently. His expression shifted from concern to encouragement. She could almost hear him saying, choose your own path. An old whisper crept into her thoughts, reminding her of late nights burning the midnight oil at that very firm. It felt safe but also stifling, a place where her spirit had dwindled. She wanted progress, but reliving that part of her life felt like a step backward. Thanks, but I'm in a different place now, she finally said, her voice growing strong. Even as she spoke, doubt bundled in her stomach. What if she was making a mistake? I appreciate the offer, but I think I need to explore other avenues. Greg's silence lingered for a moment, almost swallowing the air. If you change your mind, you know how to reach me. There was a finality in his tone that suggested he wasn't going to chase her anymore. Mia ended the call, her breath escaping in a rush as if she had just surfaced from underwater. She looked at Henry, her heart racing, half expecting condemnation. Instead, she found admiration. You did it, he said, a small smile creeping onto his face. You took control. The words wrapped around her like a bomb. For the first time in a long time, I chose, she said softly, not entirely believing it. Henry leaned closer, the warmth of his presence enveloping her. What's next for Mia? He asked as Lucas bounced over, a soccer ball in his hands, his energy infectious. Mia looked at Lucas and then Henry, her heart swelling. A vision of her future began to form in her mind, bright and unrestrained. I'm not sure yet, but I want to find out. I want to build something, a life that I'm proud of. Henry's eyes sparkled. And I'll be here to help you build that. The promise hung in the air like a delicate thread, weaving them together in that moment. Yet, the lingering question of what the future may hold, and whether she could truly accept help, weighed on her. Will I really be able to lean on you? she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, vulnerability creeping in as shadows of doubt returned. Henry took her hand gently, his touch reassuring. Absolutely. Just trust the process. Mia nodded, but the journey ahead felt both exciting and daunting. As Lucas tugged at her sleeve, pulling her back to the present, she realized the park was calling. They stepped out together, the sun shining brightly, illuminating the path before them. But in the back of her mind, the remnants of her past still lingered. Was she truly ready to embrace this chance for change, or would the shadows continue to haunt her? With each stride toward the park, Mia felt the winds of possibility swirling around her. As they approached a small soccer field, laughter erupted around her. Yet, the trembling uncertainty in her heart persisted. Would she be able to overcome the fears that clung so tightly? The game of soccer awaited, but so did the ultimate question: could she truly let go and embrace this new chapter of her life? Mia took a deep breath, trying to shake off the remnants of the call. The park stretched ahead, vibrant and full of life. Kids laughed, parents chatted, and there was a gentle breeze that tugged at her hair playfully. Yet, inside, she felt heavy. It was like she was staring at a blank canvas, unsure how to make the first stroke. "Come on, Mom. Pass it." Lucas shouted, his small feet dancing excitedly as he bounced the soccer ball between his legs. The sound of his call pulled her into the present, reminding her that right here, right now, she had a chance to enjoy this moment. Okay. I'm coming," she replied, smiling at his enthusiasm. As she jogged toward the field, Henry was already there, ready to join the game. Watching him interact with Lucas made her heart flutter. He held a gift she craved: connection, warmth, a sense of belonging. "Get ready for the best pass you've ever seen," Mia declared, channeling her inner athlete, even if it had been a while since she'd stepped foot on a field. She approached Lucas, throwing the ball to him with just enough force to make it exciting but not overwhelming. He caught it, with a look of triumph spread wide across his face. "Nice one, Mom." He beamed, the kind of praise that made her heart soar. As they played, the joy of the moment began to wash away her apprehensions. She found herself laughing, really laughing, for the first time in a long while. Her worries about the call faded into the background, replaced by the carefree sounds of the park. Henry joined them, stealing the ball from Lucas and dribbling it effortlessly. "Watch out, Lucas. I'm coming for the goal," he teased, and Lucas squealed with delight, chasing after him. In that moment, Mia felt something shift inside her. The shadows of her past began to flicker, not as haunting memories but as experiences that shaped her. "What if I could take what I've learned and move forward?" she thought. The possibility of transforming her past into strength instead of a crutch felt empowering. After a while, they took a break, flopping down on the grass to catch their breath. Lucas sprawled out, his little chest rising and falling with deep breaths, while Mia looked at Henry, seeing him in a new light. "Thank you for being here, really," she said, her voice barely above a whisper as she glanced at the sky. The clouds danced lazily overhead, like time itself was slowing for her to breathe. Henry smiled softly. "Always. You've got this, Mia. Just keep moving forward." His words resonated deep within her, igniting a flicker of hope. As they sat there, surrounded by laughter and love, Mia felt a tiny shift, a realization that maybe it was time to embrace her future without fearing the past. Her heart swelled with new resolve, but doubt still nagged at her. Could she really build that life she dreamed of? What if she failed again? Just as these thoughts threatened to drown her spirit, Lucas jumped up, shouting, "Let us play again." His innocent enthusiasm refocused her once more. With a nod from Henry, they shot back to their feet, ready to dive back into the game that felt remarkably like life itself: fast, unpredictable, and full of glorious unexpected moments. After an exhilarating game, as dusk began to settle, Mia noticed a figure approaching on the edge of the field. The sight caused her heart to race. It was Greg, her former boss, strolling casually, his eyes scanning the crowd. What was he doing here? Her stomach churned as uncertainty crept back in, but the warmth of Henry's presence grounded her. Would she have the courage to confront her past head-on? Mia held her breath, bracing herself for what might come next. Mia's heart thumped like a drum in her chest. The laughter around her faded, replaced by an ominous silence as she locked eyes with Greg. He didn't seem to notice her right away, the way he moved with fluid grace, scanning the park like he was searching for something or someone. "Mom, can I kick it?" Lucas hollered, breaking the tension as he rushed to grab the ball. The innocent spark in his voice ground against the knot in her stomach. She mustered a smile, but it felt thin, strained. "Sure, buddy. Just be careful." Mia replied, her voice sounding remarkably cheerful. Watching Lucas dart around the field reminded her of why she was here. Yet every moment felt like it was tethered to Greg appearing before her like a ghost from her past. Henry's reassuring presence steadied her emotions. "Want me to handle it?" he asked quietly, giving her a sideways glance that held concern and friendship. Mia thought for a moment, weighing her options. Running away had been her instinct before. But this was a new Mia, a Mia willing to confront her fears. "No, I need to do this," she whispered, straightening her shoulders. As Greg drew nearer, she felt an unexpected rush of memories flood in, his sharp suit, the booming voice that once held power over her career, the way he controlled conversations like a maestro. The aftershocks of her past lingered, but she was determined to face him with her head held high. "Mia." Greg finally spotted her, lifting a hand in greeting as he closed the distance. It wasn't the enthusiasm she would expected, more like a casual acknowledgement, a reminder of their fractured professional relationship. "How have you been?" Good, busy with work and Lucas." She gestured to her son, who was busy trying to kick the soccer ball to Henry. "You?" "Busy as always. You know how it is." His response was merely polite, but she could sense underlying judgment in his tone, a hint of disbelief that she had ventured out to a park instead of a boardroom. "Yeah, I do," she replied coolly. It surprised her, she expected her voice to tremble, but it was calm, unwavering. Greg shifted his weight, glancing at the distant children playing before returning his gaze to Mia. "I heard you've stepped away from the firm. Tough decision, but I'm sure you had your reasons." He tried to sound sympathetic, but it rang hollow. Mia took a breath. "It wasn't an easy decision. But I needed a fresh start." A flicker of something crossed his face. "Concern, maybe?" "It could be hard to get back in," he said gently, and Mia quickly felt the shadow of doubt creeping back in. "Maybe," she replied softly, yet inside, she felt a spark of defiance. "But I'm finding new paths. I'm excited for what's next." "Good for you." His words were absent of any warmth, but Mia focused on the truth of her statement. She meant it. As Greg turned to leave, she felt a sudden impulse to reach out. "Greg, wait." He paused and looked back, surprised. "Thank you for everything I learned while working with you. It shaped who I am. But I'm ready to write my own story now." She met his gaze, and for the first time, she felt fierce. His expression softened momentarily, then hardened again as if he put up a wall. "Best of luck, Mia." Then, he walked away, leaving Mia grappling with a mix of relief and residual uncertainty. Henry approached, standing beside her, pride shining in his eyes. "That was really brave," he said. "Yeah, I guess it was," she admitted, still trying to process everything. "Mama, can we play again?" Lucas interrupted, his grin infectious. "Absolutely." She laughed, a new lightness echoing through her. As they returned to the joyful chaos of the field, Mia felt the heaviness lift a little more. The uncertainty about her future still loomed, but so did hope. She was ready to embrace tomorrow, whatever it might hold. But in the back of her mind, an unsettling thought lingered: would Greg's words come back to haunt her? With each kick of the ball, she put aside her doubts, but the question remained: what would her next step really be? A few days passed since that fateful encounter with Greg in the park. The sun streamed through the kitchen window, casting warm rays over the breakfast table where Lucas was busy demolishing a stack of pancakes. Her heart still raced with the adrenaline from their confrontation, and while it felt empowering, there were moments when self-doubt crept in like an unwelcome shadow. "Can we go to the park today, Mom? I want to play soccer again," Lucas asked, his eyes bright with enthusiasm. Mia glanced at him, trying to mask her hesitation. The park wasn't just a place for laughter and games anymore, it was where old memories lingered. But looking at her son, she knew they couldn't let fear dictate their lives. "Absolutely. Let us finish up here first," she replied, gripping the edge of the table and willing herself to embrace the day. Later, as they arrived at the park, Mia felt the familiar flutter of nerves. Lucas dashed off to find Henry, leaving her standing at the edge of the field. She took a deep breath and scanned the area, hoping to shake off her unease. The sun felt good, warming her skin, and she took a moment to appreciate the beauty around her, the children laughing, the sound of the soccer ball being kicked, the aroma of grilled burgers wafting from a nearby food truck. Just as she began to relax, she spotted an old friend jogging toward her, Angela, a fellow lawyer who had left the firm a year prior for a similar reason. Angela was beaming, her energy infectious as she waved. "Mia. Is that you?" she called out, pulling her into a warm embrace. "I heard you stepped back from the firm. How's everything?" "It's been different," Mia admitted, her heart lifting at Angela's genuine interest. "I'm trying to figure it all out." "I get it," Angela nodded, her smile unwavering. "I can help with that. I've started a small consultancy with some clients from the firm, and I need more hands on deck. What do you think?" Mia's heart quickened. Could this be the opportunity she was looking for? Just like that, a flicker of hope ignited inside her. "Really? You think I'd fit in?" "Of course. You have the experience, and I remember how incredible you were at negotiating deals. We need that kind of energy." Mia hesitated. She loved the idea but wasn't sure if she was ready to dive back into a similar world. Yet she felt optimism bubbling under her skin. "I'd love to hear more," she finally said, surprising herself with her eagerness. As they spoke, Lucas came barreling toward them, breathless and laughing. "Mom! Did you see how I scored?" "I did. You were amazing." Mia cheered, her heart swelling with pride. Angela smiled at the interaction, her eyes softening. "You really are doing a great job, Mia. It's inspiring to see you juggle it all." Mia felt a rush of warmth at the compliment. "Thanks, Angela. It's not always easy, but I'm learning." After the park, they exchanged numbers, and Mia left feeling lighter. The world seemed brighter now, less intimidating, with new possibilities on the horizon. The reassurance from a friend gave her a boost she didn't know she needed. Later that evening, after Lucas had gone to bed, Mia sat on the couch and pulled out her laptop. The thought of sending out applications stirred a mix of anticipation and dread. She knew it was time to fully embrace the next chapter of her life. The thought of working alongside Angela excited her, but just as she began typing, her phone buzzed with a new message. It was an email from the firm she had left behind, requesting an informational interview with her, an unexpected twist she had not seen coming. Mia's breath caught in her throat. What would she choose? Would she return to the place that once felt like a cage or take a leap into the unknown with Angela? As she hovered over the keyboard, her heart raced with the weight of the decision to come. What would she decide to do? Mia stared at her screen, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. The email glowed back at her, a reminder of everything she thought she had left behind. Return to the firm. The word seemed to taunt her, echoing all the late nights and stressful moments that had pushed her to the edge just months before. Taking a deep breath, she closed her eyes for a moment, letting the memories wash over her. The days when she barely saw Lucas, the nights spent working late when she could have been home reading him a bedtime story. The firm had been both a dream and a nightmare, she had climbed to higher positions but had lost something precious along the way. Yet, Angela's offer shimmered in her mind like a beacon of hope. The untouched potential of working with her friend felt like a clean slate, the kind of fresh start she yearned for. She could be her own boss, make her schedule, and possibly create a better work-life balance. She opened her eyes, feeling more resolute. Wouldn't it be better to forge a new path than to walk back into a familiar cage? She typed out a quick response to the email, asking for a chance to talk further about the opportunity, but just as she clicked send, another thought crossed her mind: Lucas. He'd be expecting her to be this strong, confident figure. She had always preached to him about bravery and courage. What would her choice teach him? Before she could overthink it, Mia fastened her resolve. Tomorrow, she would call Angela. She would dive into the unknown. Feeling exhausted but fulfilled, Mia finally closed her laptop for the night. She washed her face, brushed her teeth, and climbed into bed like she was slipping into a new chapter of a book, eager to see what would happen next. The morning came too soon. The sunlight streamed through the curtains, warming her face and pulling her from a dream where she was darting through fields of endless possibilities. After making Lucas breakfast, a chaotic mix of cereal and half-toasted waffles, she found herself humming a tune. His laughter filled the house, a beautiful sound that made it feel alive. Just then, she remembered to call Angela. Taking a deep breath, she grabbed her phone, dialing Angela's number. "Hey, Mia." Angela answered cheerfully. The energy was contagious. "So, have you thought about it? The consultancy, I mean." "Yes. I want in. I'm ready to take that leap." "Awesome. We can meet up to discuss details. I have clients lined up and projects I think you'll love." Mia's pulse quickened with excitement. It felt right, like stepping into shoes that fit perfectly. After they set a time to meet, she hung up with a sense of clarity. This was the opportunity she needed, not for herself, but for Lucas too. She wanted him to see her go after her dreams wholeheartedly. That afternoon, they headed to the park again. Lucas raced ahead, his spirit uncontainable as he joined his friends. Mia took a moment to breathe, reflecting on her choice. She was ready to build something new, to show Lucas that life could be an adventure. But the calm was shattered as she caught sight of a figure approaching Greg. The weight of his presence hung in the air like a storm cloud. Every nerve in her body screamed for her to leave, but she stood frozen, torn between wanting to shield herself and showing her son that fear would not rule her life. "Hey, Mia," he called, his voice carrying through the afternoon. What did he want? Would this be another confrontation, a return to the past she was trying so hard to escape? As he drew closer, all Mia could feel was a mix of anger and uncertainty churning in her stomach. What was he going to say? Did he know about her plans? In that one moment, everything felt precarious, teetering on the edge of something big. Would this encounter push her back or propel her forward? Mia's mind raced. She had been ready to leap forward, but Greg's presence threatened to pull her back into the shadows. She forced herself to breathe, to stand firm. Lucas, still lost in his world of soccer, played blissfully unaware, and that thought anchored her. "Hey, Greg," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady and strong. It felt foreign to greet him with calmness instead of anxiety. "What is going on? I see you're back at the park." He motioned casually, but Mia could sense the scrutiny beneath his facade. "I'm just spending time with Lucas," she replied, attempting to keep the tone light. Greg tilted his head, studying her. "You know, it's great to see you getting out and about. I hadn't realized how good it could be for you." There was a hint of condescension that stung but didn't sink her. "I'm finding my own path, actually," Mia said, a warmth spreading through her as she spoke her truth. "I'm diving into a consultancy with Angela. It feels right. I'm excited about what's ahead." The words rolled off her tongue like freedom, breaking chains she hadn't realized were still binding her. She smiled, aware of how she felt strong, vibrant, alive. His brow furrowed, surprise flashing across his face. Consultancy, really? That's a bold move. Bold feels better than stuck, she replied, standing taller. I've learned that chasing my dreams means more than just climbing the corporate ladder. It's about teaching my kids that we can create our own opportunities. For the first time, she saw uncertainty flicker in Greg's eyes. You're serious about this, then? I am, she affirmed, the strength in her voice unwavering. I want to show Lucas what's possible, that we're not defined by our past but by what we choose to pursue every single day. Lucas, catching the last bit of their conversation, ran over, panting and exuberant. Mom! Did you see my goal? Mia knelt down and wrapped her arms around her son. I did. You were amazing. She beamed, her heart swelling while highlighting her pride. Greg looked down, perhaps grappling with the transformation he hadn't seen coming. Well, it sounds like you've got everything figured out, he finally said, masking his surprise with an unreadable expression. I'm figuring it out, she corrected gently. Every day is a new chance. He nodded, perhaps acknowledging the shift he felt in her strength. You know, Mia, if you ever need references or support for the consultancy, just let me know. There was an air of sincerity in his voice now, softer than she'd ever heard it. Thank you, Greg, but I'm solid. I'm building my future. Her words felt like a gentle barrier, but a heavy door closing on the past. With a last nod, Greg turned and walked away, leaving Mia standing tall and resolute. Relief washed over her, the weight lifted as she realized she no longer had to be trapped in old identities. As Lucas darted back to the soccer field, Mia felt her heart expand. She was fierce, full of newfound hope. She was ready to cultivate this new life, not just for herself but for her children. They deserved a mother who chased dreams, who showed them how to fight for what they wanted. Later that evening, while sitting with Henry and the kids over dinner, laughter and warmth filled the room. The past faded into the background as they discussed plans for the coming weeks, the undeniable bond growing stronger like a warm, glowing ember. So, how's the consultancy coming along? Henry asked as he scooped mashed potatoes onto Lucas's plate. I'm meeting with Angela tomorrow. I feel excited, like I'm on the brink of something big, she shared, her smile radiant. Henry looked proud, his eyes sparkling with admiration. You're unstoppable. They shared smiles, mixing joy with the comfort of family, a tapestry stitched together with love, laughter, and resilience. As night fell, she tucked Lucas and Sadie into bed. You know, you can be anything you want to be, Mia whispered, brushing a hand through Lucas's hair. Like you? He asked sleepily, his eyes shining with trust. Exactly like me. But better, she said, kissing his forehead. Good night. Mommy. Lucas murmured, and in that moment, the path ahead was clearer than it had ever been. Mia stepped back into the hallway, feeling like she had weathered the storms and emerged victorious. There would still be challenges ahead, that was life, but now she faced them with courage. The flickering possibilities didn't just feel tangible, they felt inevitable. In the growing quiet of the house, a sense of tranquility enveloped her, a comforting anchor in the tide of uncertainties. She took a deep breath, embracing the moment. This was her life, a collection of choices, each one building a brighter tomorrow. And just like the rising sun she could see peeking through the curtains, hope glowed brightly within her. Her journey was just beginning. If you felt inspired by this story of resilience and transformation, then you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support so you don't miss out on future exclusive stories that resonate with hope and courage. Leave a like now to help us spread the positivity and feed the algorithm, letting others find strength in these journeys. Comment below your reactions and feelings about Mia's incredible transformation. Share your own stories of perseverance. We want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this uplifting transformation. Let us inspire others to rise and shine together.